Hello and welcome listeners to another episode of Tactical Awareness. My name's Ash. I'm joined today by my friends Owen and Dan for another episode of Zeros to Heroes. This is our faction breakdown for Infinity N5 of, well, all the sectorials, the big changes. We write lists, we talk about our favorite units, the way they interact with the game now, things that might have changed, and then we circle back around and hit anything we didn't cover. So let's dive in, see how the fellas are doing, and get this underway. I'm going to get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
I think at the end I caved in and only brought 2.
I brought 0.
Coward.
I brought none. Although I have 2 painted. My last list was many Sograts because I love the miniatures, and my Morat army has like all the Sograt miniatures that have ever existed except for the little guy. They're just cool as hell.
Is the little guy the one? Is the little guy with the one with the axe on his foot?
Yeah, the old one.
So I've got 2 of those in front of me right now.
Yeah, I put them all in 40s. They're so cool. Because he's kind of like, remember when you had your tiny, not Azrael? Yeah, tiny Azrael, yeah. He had a glow up at one point like the Az did.
Yeah.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to another Tactical Awareness Zeros to Heroes. We're going through the aliens right now. We've just come hot off the press from the Shazvasti, and we're diving into the Morat Aggression Force. This is the math. The great, I guess, like the most professional soldiers in the galaxy.
We're gonna throw shit at you.
They don't. That's right. They don't care. Their background is so funny because their whole thing is that they just see everyone else as beneath them. And much like when we did Shazvasti, I figured we would do like what makes this faction somewhat unique. They have a list of skills across all of their non-remote units where they just believe that all the people facing them are so beneath them, they count as religious troops and warhorse. So in the old days, it was the Morat rule, which combined those things, combined basically the effects of veteran and religious. Now they have religious and warhorse unnested, which means they do not go into retreat. They're immune to isolated state. They have to pass to fail duck tests. So they're kind of stubborn. Like they won't run away unless you want, like, and if you want them to, you got to test to try and do it. And then finally, they're immune to negative BS mods. So BS attack minus mods, and then any surprise attack mods, they're also just like, nope, no thanks.
It's a pretty cool rule to just kind of have. Who doesn't have that rule? The remotes?
The remotes, yeah. Anything that's not an actual Morat, right? So like the remotes don't have, I think the drop suit Teriot might not, because I think he's a robot too.
The Hungry
still got it. No, he's still got it. He's still got that. So that's just the drones, the Batroids, Dr. Worm. Dr. Worm, I guess, doesn't.
And the Predators and Gakis.
No, they don't, but they're disposable, exploding things. they're barely things. The only time they're things is if they're in a fire team with an Oznat, because she has fire team master Hungries, who turns them into real boys, so they can power somebody up.
Well, yes, I did lean into that. You're right.
I also leaned into that. Surprise!
But did you bring 2 fire teams of them?
I didn't bring 2 fire teams of them. I should have.
How
can you bring 2 fire teams of them? They're only AVA 4.
Because Praetas and Gakis are both Gakis and Praetas.
Oh, because both groups are AVA 4. They're not. Oh no, you're right. So you can take. You're right. You take 2 and 2.
You could go crazy with it.
That's true. If you go crazy with Sograts, you sure could.
You could definitely put what the fuck? Oh no, sorry, the Oznats. Damn you, Oznats, and your limitations.
You're AVA 2. Yeah, I know. You only get 2 fire teams, but it does mean that you can get, what is it? For 16 plus 28 plus 30. So
15 points is the Oznat, and
that's
then
8 orders
points
for like 65 points.
Yeah. How else could I fit all these fear box?
That's right. That's right. So raise your hand if you've actually played Morats. I've played Morats pretty extensively. Oh, did you ever use your tiny Morat army? Because you had all the old Morats you're painting up.
I have so many more old Morats to paint now.
Amazing.
I have not actually played them.
Okay. I'd be excited to see you do an oldie timey Morat army with all oldie timey Morats.
Let me tell you, it's happening right now. Except for the Gakis and Praetas, which I can't get my hands on, so we're using the shredders.
All right,
but
aside from them, it's funny because didn't you find? I thought we all, because remember you and I were looking for it. We were trying to find the old remotes too, the floaty remotes from that time. Do you have any
floaty
of those?
remotes were brought into existence, whether it was through legitimate means.
Yeah.
I sure do have 4 or 5 of
okay,
those.
good. Because like they make the look of the army, so I'm here for it.
It goes
And you
with
can't.
my old
I think it's
Sphinx
fine.
and
I think
my
it's
old
fine 'cause
Avatar,
you can't print
old
anymore.
monkeys.
So cool. I gave you the old Avatar, which I'm excited about too. All right, so I'm gonna go first just because this will save Dan time to write a list, and also because
And Dan can fix his list because he didn't read the absolute madness that is the fire team's chart in Morats.
Which we should probably also lead off with. One of the reasons that they're so flexible is literally everything can link with everything and get a bonus. With the exception, I think, of the
Big
Tarlocks are the only ones, and the Rodox are like a separate fire team. But for the most part, like everything just works together, which is bananas because you have just mix and match. I think the Rindak, the Kyazat, which is like the newer Morat thing, and the Fairdick are the only ones that don't give you a bonus in the fire team. But like they're all kind of. The Kyozat's cool, but like I wouldn't stick him in a fire team, I don't think, as much.
Well, we'll see.
Well, sorry, he does have an AP marksman rifle with BS attack type 2. And then BS attack +1 special dice by himself. So if you do put him in a fire team of 2 of them, you get +2 special dice with a type 2 AP marksman rifle. He
rolls
neat.
5 dice on BS13 and has mimetism.
Yeah, drop 2 with an X visor.
And he's got an X visor, and you can have him with a 14-point Morat.
Yeah,
for that to all work.
He's slightly insane. He's I didn't take him, but we'll talk about him at the end of somebody else.
He's also like a cool looking model. He looks like you remember
looks
the
like an
Orgoth?
Yeah.
From War Machine, the green sworded dudes who never got a release, and I don't care what anyone says, they never came out.
Yep. Yeah, he looks like that. He's cool.
For anyone who remembers the thing that existed at one point. He's got big green sword in the art.
So I start off mine with some greatest hit stuff that you're probably going to see across these lists. Just because I like this list, it's pretty meat and potatoes. If you're going to play Morats as like I call this classic math. It leans into some classic miniatures, and it's generally just a fun, different kind of army. It doesn't take one of the features that I do like. This army has access to a mine dispenser, and as the PTSD growing inside of Dan knows, mine dispensers are amazing. The right show has
you
access
roll
to
bad.
Dispenser.
Anything's amazing.
It is amazing. and Ichadrons can reload it all the time, so it's pretty fantastic. But I took a Dartok hacker with Firewall, upgrade -3, Pitcher and Cyber Mines. He's a great hacker with Whip 13. He's got upgrade Trinity, SR -1. So he's got upgrade Trinity with...
he is arguably the best hacker in the game. Him and
because
like
he's
2
got
people.
Warhorse, Religious, yep. He's pretty fantastic.
The upgrade Firewall one in particular is the crown jewel of Morats, in my opinion.
For 23 points. That's the one I took. So upgrade Firewall, Cyber Mines, Combat Rifle, Pitcher. He's got a heavy pistol. He can be in a fire team. So he's in a fire team with a Yaugat multi-sniper +1 burst, which is just a great gun. I will say one thing about Morats is you can spend your SWC really quickly because they have a ton of fantastic SWC pieces. This MSV2 number 2 Warhorse with BS12 +1 burst multi-sniper rifle means that he gets a burst 3.5 DA gun, which is really good for 32 points with an MSV platform. And then it's Kornak in the group, which means that he's got Strategos level 1 and +1 order lieutenant, which means he's worth 3 orders by himself. And he's got a Mark 12 and a light flamethrower. He's just a great lieutenant piece. You just never regret taking him. He's a classic. He's got a name, so he can do all the jobs. And he's also a really good melee fighter with a DAPS 5 close combat weapon. So he can break boxes, he can do mind wipe, and you can get him there. My second fire team's a Raktarak Vulcan shotgun. You don't really need his NCO because you've got Kornak making everything that way anyway. And this army doesn't really need chain of command either. I guess I could have found the points to make him chain of command with a Vulcan shotgun. I just wanted to have a shotgun that's whatchamacallit, that's It's continuous damage, which is just fun in the list. And then I've got Anyat for some smoke grenades, because you do want to have like the ability to maneuver these small Harris teams. And having smoke grenades with a K1 combi rifle means that you can fight tags, you can break armor. She's got a chain colt, she's got EM grenades, and she's a specialist. So again, both fire teams have someone who can push buttons, do stuff, and generally get you around the table. I then got a Cadron if I need to reload things, and just to give me a repeater, and then an R drone repeater with a flash pulse. Second group 2, and this is stealing a bit of Owen's thunder, but I have an Oznat FTO with Fireteam Master Hungries and a smoke grenade launcher for more smoke access with a special dice. And then I got 3 Gakis and a Predator with a chain rifle, and she's Fireteam Master, which is going to give me 5 regular orders. They're not actually supposed to be like an offensive unit, though. They're more to defend my deployment zone. And they're to power up my bull track with a hyper rapid magnetic cannon for 69 points. I love this guy. I love him so much. He's AP immune. He's got a +1 burst CC PS5 close combat weapon, which is kind of cool with CC 21. So he's not a slouch in melee. He's got BS Tech SR -1 with a hyper rapid magnetic cannon. BS 13. He's only 69 points. He's so cheap for a hyper rapid magnetic cannon, and he's super jump. And he's super jump with tack aware. So that one group is 100 points, and it has 7 orders to spend on him, which is amazing. And he can just go fight pieces. You don't want to put him in a fight with a straight up tag, but a Warhorse tag that's immune to BS attack minuses and has a hyper rapid magnetic cannon that can suppress the end of the turn. He's got NCO, which if I didn't have Cornac could matter, and super jump. He can get everywhere. And AP immune and cover means he's armade all the time. It's just great. He's really, really cool. I love how cheap he is for what he does. And of course, now that he's got the Rack-Drawn ancillary remote, that means he's also got access to a specialist troop. And that's it. That's my list. Thoughts?
I see Dan's list. What's that? Oh yeah, post your list. The vibe of this list, that with the exception until you said the bold track, this was like, here's my collection from N3.
That's why I said classic. It says classic enough. That was the whole idea. It's a and the Dartok is a newer guy too,
sure.
Right?
Well, I guess the thing is that the hero of this faction, in my opinion, that is also shown up is the Kaitok.
Yep.
Which unfortunately now, because I've now seen Dan's list, none of us actually brought. Which
my point to start off with was, this is one of those factions where you can still play the older list, and it will basically operate the same, and it will be able to brute force stuff, because this is like a lot of orders. It's a lot of models. It fights in melee. It fights up close. It's got a really good hacker. It's got a really good like bunch of gunfighting pieces. That's
when we go unit by unit and we talk about that Kaitok. Oh my god.
No, don't worry. I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah. I'm just saying that the classic, I think, unlike the Shazvasti, the classic Morat list actually still works really well, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I think Morats in general work really well.
Yeah,
but no, I dig it. The only thing is the bird track. I don't like them. I think.
Why don't you like the bull track?
Well, he was shitting all over him the other night. It's like,
yeah, like we were sitting here talking about tags, and I was like, he's only BS 13 for some reason. He didn't learn how to go to shooty school like the Reich show did. He's 69. Like if not for the fact that the Sogarat existed in this faction, I'd be much more open to him. But the Sogarat is just a bull track with more armor.
Super jump.
Okay. Slow
with no super jump.
But like, what's he there for? Like, is he just shooting? Because you can do that. And then the Kaitoks, the friggin' what are they called? The Suryat? Yeah, the Suryat with immunity AP and that,
I've got him too.
Wonderful MSV rocket.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yep. It's in my list too.
But like they're doing the same job now. I don't know. Just the bull track for me, because he's only armor 5. Like he's so little. I know he's immunity AP, but like other tags, when they get hit by AP, go to armor 4 or 5. So like combi rifles are a legitimate threat to this guy.
Combi rifles, save it on 15s. We'll see.
If you're not jumping.
I like him because he's cheap.
Yeah, and then even then, like the hyper rapid's pretty cool, but like they opened Pandora's box by giving that to the drummer. So he's like 40 points.
let's not talk about the drummer. We can't. Comparing anything to the scale of Fennec is not allowed.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Fennec's a
look
whole.
at them,
I don't think we compare anything on a scale of 1 to Fennec. All right, let's talk
Yeah.
about your list then, Owen. We'll have Dan go last this time.
sure. So
Whoever went first previous goes last the next time.
I brought all old models too.
Yeah,
So I've
you
got
did.
an Osnat with a smoke grenade launcher, 3 Gakis and a Preda. There's my core.
Attaboy.
I've got a Lieutenant Sogarat, Fuhrbach +1 burst, a Sogarat, Fuhrbach +1 burst,
In a Harriet or a duo?
a duo. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got a
yeah.
duo of Rodox, one who is a hacker, one who is a paramedic, because I need specialists.
Interestingly,
and
the
then-
Rodox are 4/4 again, which is
But
great.
they're jump 8/8.
And super jump 8/8. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are insano fast. They're massively blown up actually from the last edition.
Yep. They have built-in MIM, combat instinct, warhorse, religious, blah, blah, blah. They only have 1 wound, they're armed 3, so they do just get surprised and killed. But the point is that once the smoke has cleared, then they're going to jump out and do objectives, is the idea.
I don't know, man. A
group-
16-inch move in one order is pretty insane.
Yep. And I'm not going to use it.
I use it on the flat ass ground with my X-Visor Spitfire.
Yeah, unless something like an Oznat smoke grenade goes off, because Group 2 has another Oznat with a Gaki and a Preda,
Mhm.
and then another Sogarat Fuhrbach duoed with Onyat, and then a Warcore.
I love how you took this many Sograts.
I like the Sogarat.
So let's talk about the Sograt because we didn't really talk about him.
Sogarat is just a big pile of meat.
He's super heavy infantry. Yeah, he's what is he? A size 5? Yeah,
Size 5, 6/6 armor. He's BS13. He's BS attack -3.
that's new for the edition.
It sure is. And then he's no wounding cap, and then religious warhorse and shock immune. But yeah, he is, and he's surprisingly good in CC. Like, he doesn't have a CC skill, but 21 with a DA 5 is actually like a menace. Like,
Yep.
if they screw up and don't kill him, which they might not, because he's also built
Arm 6,
different.
BTS 6 with
Yeah.
the wounding cap.
And then his offhand
He's
weapons
built
are
like an
heavy
Ajax.
pistols.
Yeah.
His heavy pistol and his pulsar are also his close range, like, go away from me weapons. But yeah, just 4 dice Fuhrbach. And then BS attack
3.5,
-3.
but yeah, 3.5.
Yeah.
With,
And then
BS
they
attack
can shoot
-3.
disco balls and cover the board for if I do need to move those Rodox. And the idea is my whole trio is going to just be standing at the start of the game. You have to kill them all.
I'd love to talk about that some more because I think we can back this up. We talked about this in our like N5 launch week, didn't we? And then we went and played 5 games at Colder Than Carbonite. I had stand-up ARO pieces every single game. So did you.
Yep.
Dan, did you have stand-up arrows?
Kinda. O12 kind of suffers from that.
Well, Owen and I also went second every single game.
That is also true. But I do know that almost all of my opponents had stand-up arrows.
Yeah, me too.
Whether it was Thunderbolt turrets or Sniper Total or whatever, like pick your poison.
TR Thunderbolts, Stay Long.
I always had some kind of. With my one list, I had a bunch of camo with adhesive launchers as
Mhm.
arrow.
Yeah, those little guys. Yeah.
But
What are they called? Moonrakers?
Yeah.
Moonrakers, yeah, so good. So O12 suffers from the solid arrow piece, but every other list I'm building is just like, yeah, if you have a really good arrow piece, it's solid.
And the point of
Otherwise, they have Rodox that fly up the board and kill you.
I was gonna say the Sograts are crazy stand-up arrow pieces because of Warhorse and BS attack -3. So they just stand there shooting you with explosive Fuhrbach rounds. Or what are they? DA?
It's explosive.
It's explosive. That's right. Yeah.
It's either AP plus DA or explosive.
Or explosive. That's right.
And
Those
so
ones are-
arrow, you're just going to shoot explosive ones.
with -3 back. So you're -6 to shoot them when they're AROing you. They're
Yep.
armor 9 in cover unless you have some kind of AP.
And they're 3 wounds.
And they're 3 wounds, which means it's like dropping them in one go is incredibly difficult.
Yep.
So that's a real frightening stand-up arrow piece.
And I brought 3.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Because the rule for that one is if something's good, 3 is better.
Yep.
That's just rough to fight into. Like maybe you feel like a MIM 6 sniper.
Sure. And you could do that fight. Like, and the
But
Sograt
The thing is that you can't lose that fight. He can.
Right.
The Sograt can lose that fight.
He ignores the surprise attack though too.
He does, yeah.
does he?
Doesn't Warhorse ignore that?
No, combat instinct ignores.
Oh,
that.
combat instinct. He ignores the -3 from BS
No.
attack minus, right?
No, he doesn't ignore anything fancy. Warhorse is veteran. He can't be isolated, and he doesn't care if his lieutenant dies.
That's right.
Warhorse also ignores BS attack -3.
And BS attack minus.
Does
3.
it really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's right.
Fair enough.
It ignores the BS attack mod. Doesn't.
The hell
ignore
does combat
attack.
instinct do? Oh no,
Surprise attack.
that's the surprise. Yeah.
Combat instinct ignores stealth and surprise attack.
Right. Okay.
So like he would ignore himself. He just wouldn't ignore the surprise attack from like a KO marker.
Right.
Or something.
But again, like if you surprise attack, so I'm thinking like the Lynx, right? Who'd be like a good camo sniper who pops out and shoots at him, and would be -9. He's going to go to 4s, goes to 7s on 2 dice, and then you're hitting him on like 10s. I'll take those odds. Like,
once again, you can afford to lose that fight. That sniper cannot lose.
You could hit him both times, and he would still probably live.
Right, I gotta hit you with AP because the DA, maybe DA depends.
Well, if you use AP, he can't die because he'll only do 2 wounds and he'll duck.
Right.
If he lost both rolls and you hit both times and he failed both saves.
Wait,
and if he hits you once,
you're gonna use AP when you're armor 6, or do you wait till armor 8?
You use DA still.
I think DA still, yeah.
Yeah, because you go 14 with 2 saves instead of 11 with 1 save.
Mm-hmm.
I think you still shoot DAs, but then it's even more all over the place. Maybe you'll do a ton of damage, maybe you won't. I think you have to use DA only because that's the only way you reliably can actually kill him. You're not fishing for a crit.
Fishing for high roll, yeah, or low roll. Well, then doing a high roll, which is bad.
Yeah.
Low roll.
But I just mean to say that if you shoot him with, because the snipers are all burst too, right? With some exceptions, and one of them's in this faction that I don't have in this list, but is in every other list. It means that you can't kill him with 2 AP shots. He'll at worst just duck. Yeah,
I want to compare him to like a Moang because I've played with Moangs a lot, but the Sograt is just
he's way tougher. He doesn't have the mimetism, but BS attack -3 is like kind of mimetism.
Right. Well, that's the equivalent, right?
Mimetism because Visors doesn't ignore it.
Yeah,
right.
Only Warhorse ignores it.
So it's the rock paper scissors thing, right? So mimetism is easier to ignore.
Yeah,
but mostly the same. The Moang is 6/2, so it's faster. And they only have like Spitfire Red Fury. I guess they have a Flamish Spear as well. But they're also like 5 to 10 points cheaper. No, they're well over 10 points cheaper.
Well, it's because these guys are immune to isolation, right? Like they're paying a steep cost. Like that hidden price of Warhorse on everybody is like a 5 or 6 point upgrade. Because now I have a heavy infantry that the best you can hope for is to immobilize him. You can't isolate him.
Which is like isolate is kind of like it's way more reliable than mobilizing because it's got the AP and the way lower PS value.
Yeah,
but it doesn't get rid of them. It doesn't disable them. But on a terrorizing run where they're like eating your back line, it could stop them, right? And then if you're just immune to that, it's really nice.
Well, it also means that you never get wombo comboed with both, where you're -12,
-12. Yep.
Right. You're only ever going to be -3. So 50-50, this guy will just break out every time.
That's why you target him, so he's -6.
Yeah, you could do that. You hit him with the target.
Hit him with the target too. No, you just stack the mods. Target him and demobilize him.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
but even then, he's still passing on a 7, right?
Right. I think Sograts are great. I think the Kaitak has more use in this faction, but I didn't bring him because I like the Sograts too much.
That too. Well, and we'll talk about these when we get to the end because none of us use them.
Yeah, and then basically the gimmick is just you're shooting smokes and discos to move your Rodox and Anyad around, who drags a Sograt with her. And then you have tons of orders and Gakis and Praetas, and they're funding your ability to run 170 points worth of heavy infantry.
170 points of basically Zeodron Batroids. What are better Onyx tags?
I think the Zeodron actually messes up the Sograt. He doesn't want to fight the Zeodron.
K1 he doesn't want to fight. No, he doesn't want to fight.
Well, those are the only ones you bring. Like, I'll be on it. Like, okay, so I guess on a side point, I've played a lot of games of Onyx recently, like 9, and I have a whole new respect for Onyx. I used to think Onyx was the worst like sub faction out of a combined army. I don't think that anymore. I think it's definitely Shazvasti. But anyway,
we're talking about monkeys.
We're talking about monkeys.
We are. And it's your turn now, Dan.
Hey, it's my turn. So look, you guys have been playing for a long time, and there's still factions when I look at them. I just see like the Matrix code, but there's no blonde or brunette. There's just code. Just like what is going on? And this is the entire, which is good because it's a good process for me because I learn a lot of like what are these, what the heck is going on. I build a list and I look at it again and I'm like, this is terrible because it's like I reread and re-understand and process and whatever. And so pretty much all of Combined Army is just nonsense to me. So that being said, let's look at my terrible list. So I got the two Sograts because I was like, hey, that's a fun duo. I went both AP heavy machine guns though, mainly because I had to squeak in some points. Again, I could probably lean more into the Gakis to get more points, but the lieutenant gets a +1 command token if he brings the AP HMG, and then the NCO is like 4 points cheaper if you're not taking the Fearbach. So anyways, but it's like 2 AP HMGs. They can suppress as well, which is nice. They kind of move the board. I like that they have disco ballers. It's like super, super fun because it's just like, it's just a get out of jail free card. If something is weird or you don't want to be fighting it, they kind of want to fight everything, but in case they don't or whatever.
Disco ball's automatic, right? It's like a peripheral.
No, it's a gun.
Perimeter?
You shoot them.
No, it's a gun.
Oh, you throw like a drop range band.
No, it's a mine dispenser, but blinding.
Oh, okay. So it's mine dispenser ranges. So it's no mods or it's
plus? No, it is mods. 16 gets +3.
Oh,
it's a mine dispenser.
Cool. That's nice.
It's even double shot. Like you can even shoot 2 of them at once.
Wait, mine dispensers are positive range? I thought they were just zeros.
No, they're positive as well. Yeah.
God.
Shut up. We're talking about also the other one. The mine dispenser is also positive range.
Oh, somebody lied to me then. Somebody lied to me then because I thought the mine dispenser was still at 0 because I was throwing it all on 14s with, well, it didn't matter. Still won.
But I think I lied to you during our game.
Probably.
Fair enough.
I was like, no, don't tell the mines. They're terrible. They're terrible.
Ash.
All negative range bands, always.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't use those. Anyways,
couple Sograts, they'll be fun. We've talked about them a lot. 2 Echidrons, because why not? And then I only have the one Uznat for 2, with 2 Gakis. It was just like, just cheap little whatever guys. It's nice that he has a smoke grenade launcher because it's like, that's really awesome. Then I have 2 Crackcock Renegades.
This is my favorite miniature still in my Morat army.
They're really cool.
Crackcock Renegade. And like the +1 burst grenade is so cool. It's such a cool profile. Why did you take him?
Well, they're move 6/2. They have meta chemistry reroll. They have 4 deployment +4. They have super jump, also the Warhorse. They have Fizz 13 with a dodge +2 inches. They have a Berserk +3 for a CC 26 with a DA a DA or
PS6. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like if I've killed the ARO pieces with my Sograts and everyone's hunkering down, these guys just run forward and go, they just scream things at the top of their lungs and try to kill as much things as they can.
Also, you can reload their chest mines now, right? In the thing. And chest mines
also,
are funny.
You can berserk with the chest mine.
You sure can. You can hug them and explode.
Because the chest mine gives you another CC attack +3. Which is like all of a sudden
shock.
29.
With shock, which is very funny. Because he just you hug him.
But like this little 14 guy is coming around and hitting you on 29s. It's like almost a 50-50 crit chance.
29 with PS7 shock.
It basically is 50-50 because the 20 is also a crit.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So it's just like, they just seem fun. And like with meta chemistry, who knows what you're going to get? Like you get like +3 Fizz or something.
It's the Asia close combat weapon.
That's why you got the reroll. But it's just kind of like, they just seem solid.
Metachem. I'm thinking beauty. Yeah.
Then I have an E-drone. Why do I have an E-drone? Oh yeah, because maybe we fire all the Sograts, make them almost immune to being gooed or whatever. Through hacking. Then I have 2 Dataradli. They're kind of the same role as the Crackots.
No, they're so good because they're martial arts 4.
Dude, I can't believe you could bring 5 of them.
Like, I can't believe they're martial arts 4 still. Yeah. Martial arts 4 is so good for 14 points for plus 1 burst chain rifle, grenades, and smoke grenades. And they
also have Berserk. And so it's just kind of like, now I'm up to like 4 guys that I want running up to the board with Impetuous. And it's like they don't have cover, right? So they're going to lose any kind of gunfight, right? But the main thing is I'm really relying on smoke and disco ballers, and then these guys just like fly up the board and try to murder things.
Well, the fact that they're impetuous regular, so they don't give up their order either. You know what I mean? Like they.
So that's both the Krakats and the Datarazi.
Yeah, they're all. It's like you're just getting bonus orders basically.
It's just fun to have like all these 14-point models. They're all in the 14-point range, where it's just kind of like, you don't want to be anywhere near them.
No, they're all hyper dangerous. They're all very dangerous up close.
Right.
That is a funny thing about the Morats is they gunfight relatively well. All of them are super dangerous in melee. Like there's very few, like except for like the Vanguard, like the basic dudes. Like most of your specialty troops are at least like competent fighters, like the Sograt, right? Being like CC21, like they're not slouches. They can all fight.
And then I have a Harris of a Kurgat engineer. With a marksman rifle turret, Suryat with just multi-rifle light flamethrower, and a Dartok, the FTO, so it can link.
That Kurgat has a neat profile too. The BS attack SR-1 with an AP combi rifle. It's a weird profile, but I really like it.
It's true. I think, yeah.
So an SR6, or sorry, a PS6 AP combi rifle is actually a really dangerous gun.
The 1 less damage emitter is also legitimate.
That's right. I didn't realize
one of the emitter's biggest problems is that it's damage 7. So even though it's EM, a lot of guys have decent BTS they are shooting at. His being just that 1 extra point, pretty good.
It's really weird in this edition. There's like the Kurgat also has like a Pantherfaust PS equals 5 instead of 6. But why is it like SR-1? Well, there's other,
because otherwise they'd give it to the boarding shotgun and the D charges and the, you know what I mean? Like you give it to everything.
No, but there are weapons.
I mean, you don't have to, because in the same way that one is bracket AP, you could have just done bracket SR-1.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because they want that one gun to be.
It goes back and forth. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just
the reason would be they wanted to apply to one thing and not everything else.
No, that already exists.
Because they already did that in other ways, in other spots.
Look, the combi rifle has AP just to itself. And there's other places. What I'm saying is that we just looked at profiles where it already does that, where it's SR-1 on just one profile. And then other ones modifies it. Anyways.
Yeah. Usually I've noticed the SR thing usually applies to a skill, not to an equipment piece. Whereas the equipment piece changes the stat, the SR applies to when you use that skill. Does that make sense? SR is like a skill reference.
That might be true.
Else is stat
that
reference.
Might be true.
Yeah.
I think that it's wild that this faction got disco balls.
Well, they lost all their Eclipse in exchange for it, though, right? Anya used to have Eclipse and it's gone.
Did they have Eclipse? I thought it was Smoke.
No, Anya had Eclipse.
I
played these. No, Anyat, Traytac Anyat, the character, she had Eclipse.
Okay.
There was a bunch of models that had like actual Eclipse grenades, and they replaced it all by giving disco balls instead.
Who else did? Because like Anya does. Okay, fine.
I know she did. There was a couple other models I think that did that were characters and stuff, but like it's just gone now. Like nobody else has it.
Because like hyper accurate range smoke that is non-stoppable in a very fast, close quartery kind of faction is surprising. Like out of all of the changes that could have happened in this faction, like, okay, let's say she still has them, right? Like it's a smoke grenade, so it's relatively short range, it's dependent on fizz. Few models have it. One of them is a named character at least. And now a Sogarat, who there's a solid argument to just bring a Sogarat all the time, even if it's just the one. He has them, and he's a pretty good shot. And if you brought him just to shoot disco ballers and ARO with his Fearbach, I think that's a valuable investment to get the screen down. Because like if he's in a duo or if he's just by himself even, he can shoot 2 of these disco balls on 16s up to 16 inches out. And that's after he kills whatever was standing to stop him from doing so. And now all of a sudden you've opened the door for Rodok, Dadarazi, Kaitok.
There's still Eclipse grenades, actually. You know, want to know who has Eclipse grenades? Every profile? The Raziat.
The Raziat still has them?
The Parachutist Deployment Zone guy, he's got Eclipse grenades on every single profile. Combi,
sure. Emitter, but again, those are way shittier than disco balls, right? Like, they don't have a plus mod. They coming.
Sure, yeah.
Like, he's on 16,
but they're
on 13.
Disco balls are require reloading. You know what I mean?
They're basically unlimited. Like, let's be honest. You can shoot 2 and your Echidron can reload you, and also you can just turn them back on again.
Or you can just throw another Eclipse grenade. I'm just saying, like, this other stuff exists. There's never been a hard, like, Smoke's always been accessible to this army.
Right, Smoke's easy. I'm talking about, like, the difference of jumping from just regular Smoke to the bigger Smoke. Like, Eclipse is available, but, like, the difference being that, like, where you'd have an Osnat who always had a smoke grenade, and Dazarazi always have smoke grenades and things like that.
And now you have launchers.
And now you have Eclipse grenade on a guy who's really good at putting them down, and he can put them down at range, and he can put down multiples at once. So it's like super order efficient to do 2 of them instead of 1, because it's double shot when you shoot a disco ball.
Yeah, you always have the Osnat though. The Osnat could always put down special dice or burst 2 smoke grenade
regular
smokes. Yeah, regular smokes.
Yeah, but they're only BS11 and they have no plus mod because they're more in line with how it's turned into for All Smoke, where All Smoke is slightly harder. But they got that one guy with the disco ball. And, like, the only point I'm trying to make is, like, where MSV has shown up a lot more in factions, and, like, even camo markers now have a lot more MSV, where before it was like the intruder. Now, like, a bunch of people do. And then a faction that wants to close the gap was given the perfect tool to do that. That's all. It's not like they were bad before and now they have it, or they didn't have it before. It's simply that when everyone else had their smoke reduced, including these guys, they then added in a tool that, like, and I bring it up only specifically because, like, Onyx doesn't get disco balls, and I don't believe Shazvasti does either. Having just talked about them last time, let me double check.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't have it either. So, like, out of the 3 combined sub-factions,
they gave it to Morats. Yeah,
they gave it to Morats. Of all of the groups to have given it to, I would not have expected it to be the Morats, because they wanted it the most.
Oh no, Shazvasti has 2 disco ball profiles.
Do they? Okay, there you go. So it's not so bad, because Shazvasti would have been the one who I'd been like,
please give it to them.
Yeah. It's the Jaith and Tencha. We had them in more.
Yeah, that's right.
There
yeah.
You okay, you're right.
That's right.
Okay, there we go. Fair enough. But anyway, just a thing about Sogorats and disco balls.
An observation. Well, let's start
Dan's list.
Okay, so actually, I would modify my list. I think I'd drop the Suryat multi-rifle and throw in a Yaugat multi-sniper.
The +1 burst.
+1 burst. It's classic.
Because I have so much smoke everywhere in the list that anywhere I want it. And then you have smoke shooting. But even if you don't have smoke shooting, the Yaugat has a burst +1 sniper rifle. So it's burst 3, and you get the special die.
He used to be a machine gun that was DA.
he still is.
No, still is.
Yeah. Well, he drops a die now. He used to just be like a flat out machine gun with DA.
Now he's 3.5 instead of 4.
3.5. So the miss goes away, but, like, you're still landing 1 million DA shots.
It's still, I mean, even though he's only BS12, it makes up for it because he just gets one.
Well, it's PS5 because it's a multi sniper, right? So it hits like a ton of bricks.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's then talk about those units we didn't talk about, starting with the poor old Morat Vanguard Infantry. They got some glow ups. It's worth talking about.
Dude, I love
these
that
guys
HMG.
Are the basic line infantry, BS11, but they've got that religious troop and warhorse. They did get a BS attack -3 HMG.
Love that guy.
He was originally in my list, and I just had to, like, figure out points for other things.
Yeah,
but, like, I think that's a cool profile.
He's a lot more points than that, like, cheap ass JSA one with the Thunderbolt.
The Keisetsu.
The Keisetsu with the Thunderbolt. That's BS -3 that we love and know. Or the
not gonna lie, did talk to Dan the other night about a list that started with 4 of these.
With 4 of these guys, yeah.
And this was my core, was 4 of them and some other guy, like whether it was the sniper Yaugat or something like that. And then they were literally just going to be pylons and be like, yeah, it's pretty expensive. It's like 100 points for them, but good luck. Like,
92
fight them
points
with
for
whatever you want. They're BS 12 now, and they're BS minus tag 3. But then the Sograt for the same price just does it better.
Just does it better, yeah. There's not a lot of super interesting profiles in here because they're just kind of a standard like line infantry jobber. They get a K1 sniper, which is a bit neat for 18 points. But the most interesting profile, I think, is that HMG.
Notably, the K1 sniper is still broken in that it's PS7. Of
course,
don't know if they intend to change that, but they should.
Yeah, we talked about our lovely Dartox, but the Zabuk Morat Enslaver is a newer profile from the last edition. He's like a dodgy warband guy with AVA 1. He was a HVT mini. He was in a Direfos pack. And so with like Anyat, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
he was a tag pilot?
Pack. Yeah, no, he's not a tag pilot. He's just a weird. He has a paramine. Wait, like the idea is he's like a kidnappy guy. So he has a close combat weapon -9. A paramine, an adhesive launcher, an SMG, and a flash pulse. If this guy was in Owen's non-lethal list, he'd be Owen's favorite miniature. Like he's got a
bronze is the best.
-9. I know, it's true.
The bronze is still the hero of the non-lethal.
You get 3 of this guy for the cost of a bronze.
You can bring 3 bronzes. Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying like this guy's 14 points. Right. He's a neat profile, but like he just doesn't have.
Actually, that's still not true. The blue coat is still the hero of the non-lethal list.
Yeah. But this guy doesn't really have like a role in here, I don't think. Same point cost. You get your pilot, you get a right show and a bull track pilot that apply to the different ones. They're going to give you the usual dodge PS +3 or PH +3 and then PH1 gizmo kit.
I love the assault pistol +1 burst.
It's burst 5 assault pistol on that right show pilot. It's pretty cool. 14 points. The bull track one's got a Vulcan combi. Dr. Worm didn't get a lot of time in this list, but we should note that he's got 2 different turrets now. He's still AVA 1, but you get him a marksman or a combi turret, which is kind of cool. And he is a lot like the Sophatech. He's just not tough. Where the Sophatech has that new wounding cap, he's just got a single wound. But he did go to school for a long time, so he's a doctor and an engineer.
Yeah. He's like if you know that you're going to have some missions in your tournament pack that are very special, like hidden, or what are they called? Classified? No, like just classifieds in general. Like anything that has like heavy classifieds, you bring him with his slave bot.
And he does all the jobs.
And he just does all of it. Like he can do all the things for you.
Yeah. The Kyozak Killing Platoon was a late N4 mini that was kind of cool. We were talking about at the beginning. Mostly notable for his BS attack type 2, which means all of his guns are type 2. His chain colt is type 2. His AP submachine gun is type 2. His AP marksman rifle is type 2. And his AP heavy pistols all type 2. He shoots really big bullets.
I get so sad about submachine guns now. I look at him and I'm like,
yeah, but the AP one's great. I'll still take the AP one.
I get really excited again when it's AP.
This guy will terrify a tag. He's got BS attack +1 SD. If he can get a tag up close, he will just absolutely liquefy it. He's CC -3, immune shock, min -3. Ooh. He is a bad mamma jamma for like.
Oh, he links too. So
yeah. Oh hell yeah!
You can get that.
This is what that one lone Morad is for.
That 28 point MSV2 AP submachine gun chain colt guy is an absolute short range nightmare. He will kill damn near anything. He's horrifying.
I think if you bring this guy, you bring him for the marksman rifle, though.
Yeah,
just in tandem with everything else that's running around in your list. Do you need guy number 12 who can fight at close range?
Just saying he is the most horrifying point defense piece with a type 2 chain colt. Nothing wants to go near him.
Yeah.
Like a type 2 chain colt is terrifying. And with MSV, it's really hard to sneak up on him too. Just a thought. And he's cheap. I might take one of each because they're AVA 2. He's just a really good profile.
He's for sure.
Right.
You know who sneaks up on that guy? Fucking Dakush.
Sure. Yeah. Dakash. We didn't talk about my favorite unit too much, which is the Raziat Diplomatic Division. This is your jump troop. He's also got deployment zone parachutists, and you can take 3 of them. So what's better than Durak and Margot with Van Zant? How about 3 of those guys, all that do a different job? And all who have Eclipse grenades. They've got super jump jet propulsion, warhorse, religious troops, stealth, martial arts 2, natural born warrior, and dodge +1 inch, CC 21, BS 12.
3?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They're like bad black airs.
Yeah.
Fucking Kestrel.
I don't know. I don't think these guys are bad, man. I think these guys are great. I would
only if you compare them. They're amazing in every faction except for Kestrel.
Except we combine them to Kestrel because Kestrel is Kestrel.
Yeah, Kestrel gets to just be better.
They're built different.
I really like the 25-point guy.
Yeah, me
so
too.
Cheap.
The boarding shotgun and close grenades, really, really good. And a DA close grenade.
I wish he had smoke grenades.
Dude, in Mind Wipe, these guys are incredible.
I wish he had smoke grenades.
Fair enough. I get it. I'm just saying, if you can identify where the thing is in Mind Wipe, you just go over and kill all three of the things. You can make a Mind Wipe list. The Raziats just can't be stopped in.
Just like the Black Air.
Just like the Black Air. The Rindak Emergency Brigade is the next one. And this guy's a weird paramedic killing machine.
You're not sorting by type.
Oh, you sorted like by.
I mean, have you ever
weird again?
Yeah, but you skipped Rodox and Yaugats.
We talked about them.
Okay, you're just going directly. Well, then you skipped Kaitax.
You skipped Kornak.
We talked about Kornak. He's in my list.
You skipped Kaitax.
What Kaitak? Kaitak? Where?
Yeah, the Kaitak.
Heavy infantry. The 19.2 wound, arm 5.
Oh, he's next.
DS attack. Nope.
He's.
That's not how the alphabet works. K before R.
Hang on. What's the sorting you guys use again? We're off the thing here. Unit sorting.
I've got type, unit name, classification.
Oh, it's because I've got unit name after classification. That's why. All right, we'll try it again.
Disgusting.
All right, now it's Kai Talk. Jesus Christ, you guys are idiots. All right.
Dollars for wounds. This guy's nuts.
Yeah, he is so cheap for the.
And he counts as everything as well.
This is one of Owen's favorite types of things where you see a burst 3 chain rifle for 19 points, a burst 3 heavy pistol for 19 points, and a PS6 CC weapon. He's got Frenzy, Shock Immune, SR -1 BS attack.
This guy just replaced Datarazzi's in my brain.
Because he's entirely. 5 points more, and they're like 2 wound armor 5 all of a sudden.
And he's 3 chain rifles, but he gets a Flamen Spear as well. And his heavy pistol has extra burst, and it's all BS attack, SR -1. And he's got Frenzy, so he's just getting free orders if he starts killing people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my lists before I settled on the idea that I wanted to just spam Sogorats had 3 of these guys in every list, because every guy who I wanted to bring, so like pick your poison on your favorite thing, like, oh, the Yaogat sniper +1 burst, he's really cool, or the Suryat heavy rocket. Oh, all of these guys duo with Kaitox, and the Kaitox count as all of them. Yep. And so all of them can just have like on the leash sitting behind them the murder machine just waiting for its opportunity to go out and chain rifle.
Like not even sitting behind, like standing behind.
Yeah, like just with them. It's just also there.
He's kind of like the Morat version of the Digger. He just does everything. And he doesn't way transform.
Better than a Digger.
I know, but I'm saying like he's not enough points more than a Digger to not be like disposable like a Digger and hits like a ton of bricks.
Here's the thing. Each and every profile has an HMG range weapon.
Yep. Flamen Spear, Heavy Rocket, Fearbuck.
Like the heavy rocket launcher, I played against a local guy, and he's always so annoying to deal with because just some heavy rocket launcher dude, and I just gotta hit him until eventually he falls over.
Well, and the thing is, Dan, the value of the Flamen Spear with free reloads has gone up so much,
right?
As an arrow piece that like, you just keep him near an Echidron, and it's never out of ammo. So you don't pay the extra point, and then you also have chain rifles.
You didn't realize the other guy had a Flamen Spear because he brought another one with the chain rifles.
Yeah,
but he hit him until he was ready to use them. Like, no, that guy should be standing up too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just stand up and reload.
The damage 6 burst 3 chain rifle is a thing that doesn't exist in this edition anymore.
No, but it just kills you if you fail your dodge.
It used to be a thing. Like used to have multiple guys who had extra burst chain rifles.
Well, and Link teams give you extra burst chain rifles too, right? So if you have
that's gone now.
+2, yeah.
And now he's here with that right back again. And it's stronger than a normal chain rifle. Like this model is wildly like for everyone who talks to me about like, oh, you have to understand there's a algorithm that they use to confirm points and blah blah blah. And it's like this is a 2 wound armor 5 guy with 3 chain rifles. Oh, did he get his discount because he got Warhorse and 6-2? This guy competes with the Shakoosh. Like he's just as fast as him
for 19 points. He's the same speed as the Shikush. He's 19 points. And he might just kill you.
They're almost the same armor.
Yeah.
It's one arm or less.
And until he kills somebody, he can use cover, which is great.
It's the
Same ability. The Bulltrack's armor 5. That's true. He's the same armor.
Same armor as the Bulltrack for 19 points. You can get 3. Yeah. You get a max AVA. These guys can still be paying less points than the Bulltrack.
Yeah. And like that's where I went. That's where for me the Bulltrack never gets the cut. Because like if I want a shooty piece, I'll bring a Sogarat. And if I just want to like exist and threaten and like be all over the place, 3 Kaitoks will do that job.
Yeah. None of us leaned into like, because we all took Gakis and Predators as like the ultra cheap pieces. None of us kind of leaned into the warbands, but there's some really neat warband lists you could do. You could do a skew of like the Kaitoks, the Kurtkats, and then like tons of Datarazis and have like a really weird close combat list. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, I had 2 Datarazis and 2 Kurtkats.
I get what you're saying, but like this guy on top of this, plus like the next one we're going to talk about. Yeah. The Kyozat killing platoon that we just talked about, like there's a lot of like weird up closey shooting things that are supported by
also have some kind of crazy ranged weapon. Just also
like this Rindak, the emergency brigade. This he's like the hook shot mini that's supposed to be able to like jump up on buildings and stuff. So he's no wound in cap 1 structure. So he's not Vita, which is interesting. He's basically a very badly wounded Morat who's had all his arms and legs replaced with like a jump rig. So he's got structure instead of wounds. And he's dodge -3, dodge +3. So he dodges on 16s and he's -3 to you whenever he dodges with +1. He's 6'2". He's immune to crits because he doesn't have any arms and legs. He's no wounding gap. He's got a sensor and he's climbing plus. So he's got a med kit +1 burst. So he's one of those few guys that can actually burst to a med kit at somebody. And then I think he's also in the fire teams, isn't he?
You bet he is.
There's one FTO profile.
He doesn't count as the other. Basically,
but he can just buy regular. The other guys can give him the burst bonus by just having 2 of somebody else. Yeah. So he can get up to burst 2.5 with a med kit and just be humming med kits at dudes with decent fizz.
Yeah. And they're no wounding cap, and they're quick, and they're quick. And they're that.
And they're all forward deployment if they're not in a fire team. They've got a multi-rifle +1 burst profile for 33 points, which is actually kind of cool. They've all got templates, or they've got +1 burst flash pulses and sticky guns. They're just a really neat like flex profile. And then we got the Raicho, which is, well, it's a gator.
He's a better gator.
It's just a gator.
He's a much better gator.
It's a warhorse gator. But yeah, he's not in CO, but he's a gator, and he's more points because of it.
Immunity crit, warhorse, and combat instinct are very good.
They're very good.
Tag.
They're very good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I agree.
Like 100%. The fact that he can't be isolated is a huge buff for a tag again. Which is good because he's only with 12.
Yeah. With shotguns. Wow. I do like the wine dispenser one because it also has a heavy shotgun +1 burst. Having a face-to-face shotgun with burst 3 is really cool as an up-close gun.
And it's +1 damage.
Got that. And it's +1 damage. I still got that mine dispenser too, which is neat. Just a neat profile. And of course, they all get the specialist upgrade now as well.
Yep.
We got the drop suit Tariot, which is one of Owen's favorite things. AVA 3
I'm painting 2 of them right now.
I bet you are, because there's 16 points for explosive drop troop.
Yep. And then he's armed with my favorite pair of guns.
He is. Yep.
+1 burst, Morat, and adhesive launcher. Go get him, little guy. If you survive the fall, great. If you don't,
he's also dogged. Well. He's also dogged. So no matter what happens, unless more than one guy can see him, he's staying there.
Yep. And now he has super jump.
Nice.
He's got super jump.
I guess he has a boarding pistol to kill at templates, and he also has a +1 burst on it because you bring that 16-point guy. That's the one you bring. Honestly, maybe he does other stuff, but
a 3 burst adhesive launcher just solves so many problems.
A 2 burst Morat solves many as well.
So you also just kill him, Dan.
No, Morats and adhesive launchers don't kill anything.
I know.
But it's just kind of like, hey, there's a
pistol.
tag that I can't fight with, or you killed my gun piece. I can't really fight him too well, or whatever. And you just come in the backside, and you just like, you only get the 1 shot, and they're only BS11, but 3 dice hitting on 14s, shooting in the back. What are you going to do? He just gets hit, and he gets gooed.
Sure does. Yep. All right. This is a weird one, because now we've also got... like kind of the inverse of the enslaver. We got the Tyrok Hunter. He's a melee warband piece. Technically he's a skirmisher. He's got decoy 1, dodge +1 inch, forward deployment 8, frenzy, martial arts 1, religious. Terrain Total Warhorse. They're all armed with Type 2 rifles. They're all armed with PS6 AP mines, of which one's a mine layer. They've all got +1 burst AP heavy pistols and trench hammers SR-1. There's also a version that gets a Skirgot, which is a weird sync creature CC-22. I don't know how. I guess he doesn't have decoy, so decoy doesn't work on the Skirgot. But the 2 Direct Hunters, either one of them could be his daddy. What do we think about this guy? Like, you can get 2 of him. I don't, except for having a T2 rifle, and I don't know why I would take him.
He's a little expensive for BS11.
Yeah. I just don't know why I'd take him.
If Skirgot had a template, I'd probably use it, because then you can play template games. Like, you have the sync game that you get to play.
Yeah, or mine with him. You can sweep mines, because he does have plus dodge, doesn't he?
Well, I'm just
he's got dogged.
Well, he's dogged, but I just mean that, like, I can walk around and be like, I have a rifle and I have a chain rifle,
and I can do the you dodge,
and both of them are going to shoot. Yeah, like, you can play that game.
Yeah,
but without that, he's just like a 1 wound, 1 arm. Like, he feels like a very expensive version of the just the Morat infantry.
Yeah, the vanguards.
And for the same points, you could bring the Kiosat with the SMG.
You could. It was great.
And, like, he's got so much more going on. I don't know. I don't
know everything.
He's got the mines, so you can. He's got AP mines that are +1 damage. So see, look at there's AP mine PS equals 6. Why not? Oh no, that follows the thing that we were talking about. Anyways, so, like, you can walk into a corner, lay a mine, and then peek. And if you have the little dude, the little dude could run around the corner, engage in melee, and the other guy pokes out. And then what do you do?
Mine goes off and you shoot. Yeah.
There's a CC, there's a shoot, and there's so many things.
Well, like the little guy. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
But if he does dodge, then you shoot, and if some chance he survives, or no, you can melee him. If he survives, then he's engaged in melee, and then you could walk up behind and have 2 people in melee. He's okay. Maybe a bit pricey.
It's a lot to set up.
Him having 2 people in melee is as good as 1 Datarazi.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing, is that you have all these other people that are half the cost.
Yeah. Also, the Datarazi, they could just smoke that corner and then walk over and murder that guy in melee.
Yeah. The Datarazi can do all of that just by himself
for 14 points. Yeah. For 6 points less.
Yeah.
Or 8 points less.
This guy gets to live.
Let's talk
goes into the grave.
Let's talk about the Zerat. So this is your skirmisher piece. This is the Morat, like the shrouded kind of, except you don't have camo.
Yep.
You have very little camo in this faction, almost none. This is just I think somebody must. I think, like, there's like some.
Nope.
Oh, wow, none. There's no camo whatsoever.
You don't get camo. We don't hide here.
Just mines.
Just your mines. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No camouflage whatsoever, and if there's any killer hackers, they could, I guess, turn into impersonation too,
which the Zerat can do. The Zerat has a killer hacker
for that. But min -6 train total, BS11. They're a bit like a Crocman almost. You do get a burst 4 BS attack SR-1 combi rifle, which is pretty friggin' cool. So a burst 4, basically like Spitfire with a shorter range. Same with the multi-marksman rifle. That multi-marksman rifle is kind of sweet. And then you got hackers, killer hackers, mine layers, and forward observers. And the mine layer does have an AP submachine gun and a paramine.
I love the paramine. It's my favorite profile out of these. Like, I like the forward observer because I just need the specialist, because that's what they're going to be there for.
Yep.
And then the paramine is just one of those, like,
you like it because it's trolly.
It's more like there's a lot of things in the game that could just eat a shock mine.
Sure.
Nobody eats a paramine.
No, no one wants to, and no one wants to eat a paramine either, because if it goes off, you're in trouble.
And yeah, it's really something. That's the one thing I really like about that profile, is that that paramine.
Well, once you paramine something too, and she has both shock and para.
Oh, that's fun.
If you noticed that, she has 6 mines. She gets 6 mines. Yeah, yeah, she has a lot of mines.
The only problem is that they know it's a paramine, but I guess maybe that's a bonus of, like, don't come over here.
Well, you don't know when it's a marker.
No, but they'll ask, how many mines do you have?
Yeah,
they could ask that. Yeah.
You go, I have 3 shock mines and 2 paramines.
Yeah.
And because the only markers that you can put down are mines, you're going to narrow that down real quick.
True. You're gonna know
if you're a douchebag, you go, how many mines do they have left? They're like, I have 3 shock mines left. And then you open up your mouth to say something else, and they'll go on because they don't think that they have 2 mines. And you're like, well, I guess he didn't want to know anymore.
I guess he didn't
be that asshole.
So how do we feel about Morats? Now that we've rounded this out, we've done the rest of these profiles. How do we feel about these guys?
I think Morats are great.
I think they're great too.
I think Morats have like no downsides.
And they're new apart from no camo, apart from no ability to sneak. You do have Eclipse grenades though at the wazoo. Now you've got disco balls too, which makes you happy, and smoke grenades. You get around that way as opposed to getting around through camo markers.
You land on their deployment zone. You have drop shoot parachutist. You ignore one of the worst states in the game, which is loss of lieutenant. You
do have a nano screen, don't you?
I don't think so.
No, it's in the reinforcements.
You have access to really cheap orders. You have access to long range, very hyped up power weapons. You have access to short range combo guys.
You don't have access to white noise, but you do have disco balls and Eclipse, which is
your hacking game is kind of weak, but then you also have access to one of the best killer hackers. So it's like
the Darthawk, yep.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you're a really scary hacker and you could mess up my guy's bit and kiss or something out of nomads. And then all of a sudden the Darthawk's like, I'll go for it.
I'll give it a try. How about I coordinate 2 of me to do that?
How about I move up, and while I'm walking towards you, my friend here, Kaitok, is also walking towards you. Would you like to hack my Kaitok or me? Oh, you chose me? All right, I Trinity. Oh, you chose the Kaitok? I choose Trinity. Like,
the guy does not care.
Yeah.
I feel like the limited times I played against Morats more than any other combined army faction.
Really?
There's a new guy in the area who plays combined army.
But
even
I haven't
played this edition. I want to play them this edition. I haven't played them. I have a whole bunch too.
So they have so many cool tools, and like we were taught, like I was, like a month or 2 ago, like trying to help him learn how to play, and I just like took his army, and I'm like, what's going on here? What does these people do? I'm like, oh my gosh, all these things are so good. Like they can do so many things. It's like, oh my goodness,
look at how cool this guy is.
I think one of the hardest things about this faction is like they're really weird to buy right now.
Yeah, because the big army box that came out with their redo isn't available anymore, and a lot of the good units are stuck in there.
And like they have all of these cool off the group, like you basically run into the same core of guys because those were the new sculpts.
Yeah.
And you don't see Zerats show up very much. And like you don't see like even things like the Kaitok that I've been talking up a whole bunch, you basically can't buy it. It comes in one of the larger box sets, and that box set isn't available. And so if you wanted to buy 3 of these, it's going to cost you like $300.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a shit ton of models. Like you're going to get like 9 Morat Vanguard, which you don't want at all. And great. Now you did it. You can bring 60 points of guys. Like their whole claim to fame is that they're cheap, and then they come in a way that's not like approachable to purchase. Mm-hmm. So you end up seeing Suryats all the time because they got a cool new box, and there's Rodox because they got a cool new box, and the Yaogats because they got a cool new box. And like, how many games do you play where you just see those guys again, or the tags, and then that's what you fight every game all the time? At least that's been my experience.
Yeah, you got to go to like the aftermarket to try and get them in splitsies.
And so like I think that is one of the things that has made it like less interesting to play against, only because you either have people who had like a really old collection and so they play the old army, and then they don't use any of the new stuff that is, in my opinion, like there's an unending power creep going on in Infinity right now. Like I just believe that that's true, and it means that the older models are viable, but the newer models are just better. And the newer models are a pain in the ass to buy right now. So you either have people playing partial lists using the new models, not pushing it to like the conclusion that I see, or you have people playing old factions and they don't have those models.
Right.
And it's like Morats, you have so many things going on, and you have so many units and so many types of lists that you could play. You could play like sneaky lists using smoke and eclipse and disco balls and lots of like close range advance up the board kind of guys, or you could just stand off and shoot, or you could drop on them, or you could come in their deployment, or you could whatever, but you can't.
What are you doing in their deployment?
You're deploying in it. Just like they are. You're like them. But yeah, but it's just because it's annoying to buy them, and like that limits how you play, unless you want to go buy a whole bunch of redundant models
or dig through the aftermarket, which you can do too.
Yeah,
you like
go on eBay right now and find all kinds of random loosies, and there's trading sites and stuff as well you can go to. But it's extra work if you want to get exactly what you want. Ooh, I haven't seen the Morat trip hammer. It's pretty friggin' cool, actually. Vergok Dravot. Have you seen this thing?
The what?
No.
The tag raid Morat tag.
Oh yeah. I just sold one at the Cold and Carbonate.
Oh, did you have one? Shit, I would have gotten that off you. That's crazy. It's so cool. I would have fucking grabbed that off you. Dan, don't make deals without telling me.
I offered. You said you were.
You didn't say shit.
When I first got them, you wanted the Nomad one, but another local guy already called dibs on it.
Ah, fair enough.
And I needed extra cash, so
that's fair.
And then I had them.
I don't forgive you.
I was trying to sell all of the Morat stuff as a group.
Got it. Well, next time, do better. I think that's it. We're done. And we'll be back with the last of the sectorials and then the big controversial one. So it's Onyx, which Owen's actually been playing. Like, you played like 9 games with them. Just recently.
I played a ton. A ton with them. Against a bunch of different people too.
And you and I played a bunch of games against my Onyx when I first panned them. They were like one of my N3 N4 armies. So I'm excited to see us compare notes.
I don't see how they're a problem. You just dice him into the ground and he does nothing, and then you win.
Dan and Helen played a game, and the group chat immediately blew up with, yeah, so I got fucking obliterated by Dan. I lost all my games against Dan today or something like that.
No, it was I don't know if I can play Onyx. I don't know if they're any good.
Onyx might suck because Dan obliterated me 4 times in a row. Anyway, we'll see you for that one next week. And until then, we are done. Bye, everybody.
Bye.